Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for July 2025. You have this prickly pear card. It says diversity. You have this red canyon card. It says ancient and future energies. Very interesting because here you go. Your very first card is the King of Swords, which is like history. You know, the King of Swords is, he doesn't really represent things from the past, but he represents knowledge and wisdom. And, we gain wisdom over time. We take, to gain wisdom, we have to take action on our knowledge. We have to do what we know. And that's how we gain that knowledge. And so, there could be some sort of connection to things that you have learned in the past. It kind of, these cards here, especially with that King of Swords, is kind of giving me more of like a connecting the dots type of energy where, you're kind of like looking back on your past and seeing why you had to learn certain lessons or, why you had to go through certain things that you went through. And, I think that can be very helpful. It can be very good for us when we're able to connect the dots looking back and things like that as well. But you have the King of Swords, the Fool, and the Two of Wands in your current general energies for the month of July. And the number one, one thing that I'm getting here, Pisces, is that I feel like you need to value what you know more, and just in general. But like there's kind of like two different directions that is popping into my head. Number one, I think you need to like believe in yourself more. So if you are thinking about starting something or doing anything in your life, like I think you need to value your knowledge, as in you need to say that you already know enough to get started. So like get started, right? We have the Fool next. But I also think this includes like other people as well. So like what I'm talking about is like work or business. If people are coming to you and wanting help, make sure to charge money. Don't be a Pisces, right? Pisces is always like, I'll do it for free or whatever. I've been saying for, like 3 years now, it's time for Pisces to make money. And this isn't about greed or materialism or anything like that. But, when there isn't an equal exchange, then we actually create an unbalanced energy. So there needs to be some sort of exchange that happens here. And I feel like that's what Pisces is realizing. The other thing is that if we constantly do things for free and we don't get anything for it, then, we are like burning ourselves out because we're not replacing the energy. So, I feel like the King of Swords is kind of like talking about those two things that I just talked about. I also, by the way, if you want love, like I said, really good summer for love for you, Pisces. So, yeah, you're going to have to get out in public, especially with that Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is one of my dating cards. It's a very good card. If you're already with a person, it's very good. If you're dating a person, it's very good. But if you want a person, it's a really good card for like socializing, meeting a new person. And you have a new person right here. You have the Fool. Again, I think you need to take action on what you know. Because it's like there's nothing more for you to learn, is kind of what this reading is saying to me. It's like the King of Swords has the most knowledge and wisdom out of any king. There's nothing more for him to know. But there are things for him to do, right? He needs to take what he knows and take action on it. It's like you can know something all day long, but unless you actually do it, whatever your knowledge is, then you know nothing, really. So I think the Fool is saying it's time for you to take that leap of faith. It's time to take action on what you know. You have the Two of Wands. Definitely time to like push yourself outside of a comfort zone. I mean, I think everybody has to do this right now. We literally, Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius, like it has done already. I've been talking about for years because, that cusp, Capricorn and Aquarius, is the death of establishment. So I've been warning people about this for years, that there's probably some sort of establishment that you are leaving behind, or something that has been established in your life for a long time that you are going to be changing. And again, this isn't like a bad thing. It's, part of the journey. You chose to come here at this time, Pisces, to experience it. So, again, it's not a bad thing. And I would say that, anything new, any new experiences you could have, even if it means that you, kind of like drive down a different road, going to work, or you break some sort of routine. I think all that would be really good for you. I think you need to get back to remembering something as well. It's like popping into my head. The word remember, you have that prickly pear card, the ancient and future energy is very weird. It's like, and then not only that, this is the other thing that I thought was super weird. In this animal deck, you have the T-Rex and the Triceratops, which, they were natural enemies, right? T-Rexes hunted Triceratops. I don't think I've ever had these two in this deck come out together, which is very interesting as well. But there's like something that you need to remember. It's like maybe if you're feeling a lack of motivation, or like you don't know what to do, or if you're feeling like a lack of guidance, I think you need to like remember like why the things you have done in life. I think you need to remember like why you have wanted to do those things in the past. I don't know. There's like something there for you that just simply remembering could be a very good idea for you, or kind of like just reminding yourself like why you were passionate about things in life, or what brought you passions would be a really good idea. With the King of Swords, you have two cards. You have the Hangman and the King of Pentacles want to come out together. The King of Pentacles can, of course, be an increase in wealth, or you focus on building wealth, which I definitely feel Pisces definitely is. It's a great time for money for you. Also, like I've been saying to you in all the past readings, it's not necessarily going to be easy, but the people who take the time and build something long term, again, you can't build something quick. This has to be something that's built on a solid foundation. If you do that, you will be very happy that you did in the future. So I would definitely recommend it. Hangman is your energy. So again, I think you are looking at both sides of the energy, like we were talking about with that King of Swords. So, again, that's pretty good. With the Fool, here you go. You have the Queen of Swords. For some of you, I feel like this is either you're interested in someone or they're interested in you. The King and Queen of Swords, I'm not like the biggest fan of as far as divine counterparts is concerned, because they are two divine counterparts that are not communicating. They do not see eye to eye. I do think this could be a good person, but it's almost like saying to me that someone has to make a move here, like someone has to do something. So there you go. With the Two of Wands, you have the Hierophant. Now, this could be blessings. Again, this is a very good reading. There's a lot of good cards here. 10 of Cups, Chariot, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, right? Really good stuff. Even the King of Pentacles, very good. So we see a lot of good energy, and there definitely could be blessings. But the Hierophant can also be marriage. Literally with the Two of Wands, it would say if you are hoping to get married in the future, if you're hoping for a commitment, you have to get out into the world. Plain and simple. You have to leave the house. The other funny thing about this card, Pisces, is that the Hierophant is a card of our belief system. And, Neptune in Pisces, even though Neptune's in Aries right now, it is going to retrograde back into Pisces before next year. It's going to move back into Aries officially. And, but what at the beginning of the year. But what I would say is Neptune in Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. We literally could be looking back at the past during Neptune and Pisces, and we can say, like, why do I believe these things that I believe? And, does it serve me? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not you, right? So you have to make those decisions, but you could definitely be looking at past beliefs and saying, like, I need to change these beliefs because they're actually holding me back. Or again, we all have good beliefs as well, right? So the good beliefs, you should double down on those things. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this third quarter moon. It says adjustments are required. You have this full moon in Libra. It says a win-win outcome is forecast. Yes. Hangman, Two of Wands, these are good cards for making adjustments. Just because something isn't working the first time you try it, Pisces, whatever this is, doesn't mean that it's not working. It just means there needs to be some adjustments. So I kind of do feel that. I feel that for you, Pisces, in the month of July. Like there might be like one or two moments. Again, I don't get bent. Don't get all bent out of shape about something if you're like trying a project and it doesn't work the first time. It will work. But maybe you just have to make a small adjustment, and that's kind of like what I feel here. And I definitely feel that in July for you, Pisces, for some of you. But again, looks like there's like some sort of win-win coming in for you here. You have the Ten of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Devil. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, or happy home, happy family. So there could be a lot of happiness coming in for you this month. I would, again, as I always say, I think all the water signs, all three water signs, get these messages of needing to make sure that you're actually doing something to be happy. because I don't know why. I think it's always a good idea. Again, I always tell a story. The most stuck I've ever been in my life, I was not doing anything, and I wasn't allowing myself to have fun. And it's like I've noticed that if I stop doing things that I enjoy doing, even for like only a couple weeks, my life starts to go down the wrong direction, right? So I think we need to make sure that we are doing fun things. Also amazing for love. I do feel there definitely is like a new person in your energy field. I feel like this person's been like probably had their eye on you for a while. I do feel like this person needs to make a move. Like part of me, like normally I would see this King of Swords, Queen of Swords, Fool, and I would say you might as well make the move here, Pisces, right? But I don't even know that. Just my intuition is telling me that you don't even know. So it's like, how can you make a move on someone that you don't even know is interested, right? So again, I think that this person needs to make a move. It kind of looks like they're going to make a move, so I wouldn't even worry about it. I just think maybe they've been thinking about it too much. You have the King of Swords. King of Swords is moving on to calmer shores, so definitely some improvements this month. Like I said, this second half of the year is definite improvement for Pisces. I literally said it, I think, in your 2025 readings that I did at the beginning of the year. I was talking about how it's definitely a time where there could be some big improvements for Pisces. So I think there are, the second half of this year, obviously, which we're in, is going to be a time of like smoother sailing. Still not perfect. We're definitely not in a perfect time, but just better than it has been. I also think that some of you are making some decisions. Sometimes I feel the Six of Swords can represent stuck in the mud energy. He's got this big long pole that he's using to push this boat forward, the ferryman. And sometimes the Six of Swords can be like stuck in the mud. But I think Pisces has been stuck in the mud for a little bit of time. And it's like now it's time to, I think the rains have returned, Pisces, and it's like your pool is filling up with water. Maybe that's a good way to put it. And now it's time to make some decisions, right? And that's kind of like what I feel like you need to do here with the Six of Swords. You have the Devil. The Devil can represent toxic energy, toxic vibes. Number one, I actually don't feel toxic with this card. Again, I read, I call myself a holistic reader. I take every single card into account when I'm doing a reading, and I look at the whole big picture, right? And what I would say here is I really actually feel good about this. I think this could be, number one, a Capricorn that's coming in for you. So if you are looking for love, it could be a Capricorn type person, or, a person with Capricorn in their chart or whatever. Or it could be Earth as well. You have a lot of Earth here. You have Taurus twice. So, it could even be a Virgo. So, whatever. Take it how it resonates. The other thing is that the Devil can represent trapped, like creative force or trapped creative energy. So if you have any creative ideas, I would be taking action on those creative ideas. Here you go. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Four Wands. If you're meeting a person, this is probably the person you're going to marry. It kind of makes sense to me, Pisces, because, I think that over the years, you've probably been going through an extended period of time of learning lessons in every single connection, probably to the point of exhaustion, to be quite honest with you. At least I feel exhausted. I get it. With the cheaters, the liars, the storytellers, the time wasters, right? All that stuff is popping into my head. So again, I kind of feel like it's time for Pisces to, get something good in love with like a person who actually cares. So, this could be a very good person and that you could commit to. This could also be you committing to your happiness. Again, I always tell people, I think it would be better for people to not think about money, to not think about love, to only think about making their life the best they possibly can and committing to that. Because guess what? When you do that, all that stuff falls into place. Like, you don't have to think about the things like love and money. You just have to think about creating the best life for yourself. And when you do that, everything else falls into place. And that's what I would do with the Four Wands and the Ten of Cups. With the Six of Swords, you have the King of Cups. Yeah, we have like three kings, so almost four kings. If we get the King of Wands, which is the only one we're missing, then we will have Emperor energy. So you could be attracting an Emperor and Empress type person. The King of Cups could also be you. I think I said this in your last reading. For the week of June 23rd, I think is the last reading I did for you, Pisces. And in that reading, I was talking about the importance of your emotions, especially if you're watching this at the end of June, before July, when I always publish these a little bit early. And so if you're watching it kind of like at the end of June, beginning of July, I would make sure that you are, creating emotional health for yourself in whatever way you can. With the devil, you have the Seven of Wands. There is a little bit of weird energy. We do have a Mercury retrograde this month on the 17th or whatever it is. I think it's the 17th, but now I'm questioning that for some reason. I'm pretty sure it's the 17th. I'm pretty sure it's the middle of July that we have the Mercury retrograde. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it goes to like the middle of August or whatever. But don't quote me on that because for some reason I'm questioning that. But anyway, like I said, I would be careful of past people. I would put up boundaries and things like that with this energy. One thing that this reading is really screaming is commitment, right? We have the Four of Wands, we have the Seven of Wands here as well. We have the Two of Wands. I'm not saying that this is asking you to commit in love. I think that this is asking you to commit to like something yourself, something that you're working on, maybe something you're creating, because the devil can be trapped creative energy. And I kind of got that feeling on the devil card that he was saying, you have something creative that you are not doing. I don't know. I just feel a little bit stuck in the mud on that Six of Swords. It's almost like you have genius ideas, but it's like no one knows because you're not doing it. It's like you're not putting it out into the world. So I would make sure that if that's you, I would be putting your ideas out into the world. Next, in the area of your messages from your future self, you have this T-Rex card. It says alchemy, raw power, and base chakra. Again, the devil can represent root chakra, base chakra energy because those people on the devil have those animal horns on their heads, and it represents root chakra energy. So definitely time to let that creative force out. You have this Triceratops card. It says setting boundaries, standing proud, using your sacred voice. So it's interesting that you have these two, like the two enemies or whatever you want to call them. T-Rexes hunted Triceratops together. I don't know. It's popping into my head as important, And I think maybe you need to balance the predator and the prey inside of you. You have to balance those two things out, right? And that's definitely popping into my head. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Nine of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles could be good news coming in for you. Page of Pentacles is also the card of studiousness and learning. But we go down to the Chariot, which is great, number one. Number two, it could say that you are entering into something new. The Chariot, he is leaving the city behind him and he's charging in a new direction. So he's like literally going somewhere new, like I already said. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to like try new things or do new things in your life. Like literally just have new experiences, which we kind of talked about earlier. I also think that, you have that diversity card. You have the Hangman as well. Sometimes I think we just need to just go see how things are done, like how other people do stuff, right? Whatever it is that you do in life. And so I think like opening up to, a diversity of opinions in work and business and love, everything. Just go like find what works for you is kind of what I'm getting on this Chariot card. That's where the true victory will come from. But again, he's setting himself apart. And like I was saying on that Devil and the Seven of Wands, it's like there is something about like trapped genius here, Pisces, where it's like you're saying to yourself, I can't do this thing because there's like competition, or, this is what's popping into my head. We don't really see competition or anything like that in this reading. We might in a minute, but not right now. But just intuitively, I feel like you're saying, I can't do this because, everybody does this, or I can't do this because there's a million people doing it, or whatever. But it's like, yeah, but I think what Pisces needs to realize is no one does it like you, right? And so, sometimes, I think sometimes people try to say, like, rarely are we the exception to the rule. But, I think that you could be, like, the exception to the rule on something. What the hell am I talking about? I have no freaking clue, Pisces, if I'm being quite honest with you. But it's like, it's like sometimes I think there are rules to things that we have to do. Like, obviously, I will never be playing in the NBA, right? But it's like, there is probably someone like me that is in the NBA, right? There is probably someone who's naturally talented, even though they're short, right? I don't know why that's popping into my head. But, again, it's like you might actually be the exception to the rule, is what I'm saying. And I think you need to realize that. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, card of independence, card of gratitude and luxuries. Again, like I said on that Ten of Cups, even though the Ten of Cups is other people, I think the more time you spend focusing on just yourself and making yourself more, kind of like creating your perfect life, whatever that looks like for you, the better. The Nine of Pentacles is heaven on earth, but she has to create that heaven on earth by her focus. She gets what she focuses on. So I would make sure that you are focusing on good things. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. You're all up in this reading, for sure. You know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 times you show up in this reading so far, Pisces. So whenever you show up as yourself, especially a bunch of times as all your cards, you know, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength, which is good. With the Chariot, you have the King of Swords. Could also be a Cancer that's coming in for you here, Pisces. So if you're looking for love, you know, definitely could be a Cancer. We have the King of Swords twice here. This could also, again, be you needing to, like, unleash your genius, because the King of Swords is the genius, and I think you need to use it. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like you're going from, you know, independent to allowing help. The Three of Pentacles is about getting the right kind of help. Remember what I said at the beginning of the reading about needing to make sure that you're getting paid, but, you know, this kind of goes the other way as well. It's like, if you're working together with other people, that's fine. But he is the one that's getting the credit. So I think that as you can work with other people, Pisces, like on projects, businesses, ideas, as long as you're the one that's getting credit. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Hand of Fate card. It says, everything is happening for a reason except the things to which fate binds you. You have this Ultimate Fulfillment card. It says, you're now entering into a time of peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment. Yes. Love it. I do think you have to create this, though, Pisces. Like, I don't want to make this sound easier than it actually is, because we have Saturn in Aries, especially, right? Which isn't bad. I think it's actually a freaking blessing. Thank God that we are having Saturn in Aries at the same time that Neptune is. If we didn't have that, I think that Neptune in Aries would be a lot harder. You know, I think it would make the journey of that a lot harder for Pisces, but because, like, right at the beginning, right when it starts, you know, Saturn goes in there, like it is right now, they're both going to retrograde out, and by February of next year, they're both going to be back into Aries, Neptune and Saturn, and, you know, for about 2.5-ish years. And like I said, it's like a little bit of a blessing, and I think it will make the journey of Neptune there, because Neptune will be there for like 13 years or somewhere around there, right? More, and or 13 and a half years, whatever it is. And, you know, again, I think it'll make it a little bit better. So, you know, it's a good thing. You have the Moon, which is you, the Nine of Cups, and the Eight of Cups. The Moon is your card, of course, so I think that you need to kind of like focus on your dream and creating a dream. I also think you need to see something through to the end. I'm getting something about worry. Like, yeah, this is coming up in the good stuff, but again, I read intuitively, and I do feel like I don't feel bad about it. I think you're getting clarity, which is good. The Moon in the good stuff, to me, can represent clarity. But I feel a little bit too much worrying, which is very Piscean, and I would just be careful of, like, worrying too much about the future or where things are going. It's like, I really feel a good energy for Pisces, and I'm not perfect. I have to remind myself of this every day, literally, that, you know, we have to do what we can with what we got right now. I think the trap for Pisces right now is if you just worry, and every single day you worry, and you get nothing done, then things will be bad in the future. But if you just work on what you can right now with what you got, if you do that, I think you might surprise yourself in, you know, a very short period of time over the next few years with what you're able to accomplish. So there you go. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like fulfillment or wish fulfillment in the good stuff, so definitely could be some wish fulfillment or a wish being fulfilled, which would be great. I feel a lot of happiness on this card as well. You have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, walking away from things that no longer serve you. We go from the Chariot down to this Eight of Cups here, which is pretty good, and it's coming up in the good stuff. Personally, I like the Eight of Cups anyway. Like, I think the Eight of Cups is a good card anyway, because he's walking away from things that no longer serve him in general. But definitely in the good stuff, it would kind of say you're walking towards fulfillment, if you are cutting anything out, right? Can't make this up. With the Nine of Swords, with the Moon, you have the Nine of Swords. Like I said, I was getting something about worrying. The funny thing about this card is I always say this is the worst card in the tarot. And not even the Tower isn't even close. The reason the Nine of Swords is the worst card in the tarot is because he's in pain, but he's not doing anything about it. He is in a situation where he's in pain, but he's not in enough pain to change. And so he's just like waiting for things to get worse. The card says, you know, again, we were talking about worry. Even though this is coming up in the good stuff, which is good, you could finally be ending this if you are doing this, Pisces. But, you know, again, I would say if you're just worrying, then you're not getting anything done, and worrying does nothing for us. So I think I definitely felt that on the Moon. There you go. With the, you can't make this up. With the Nine of Cups, I pulled two cards, and you have the Fool and the Tower. So there you go. We were talking about the Tower. Now, you have the Tower next to the Chariot, which could just be a move. So if you are thinking about, and you have the Six of Swords, you have the King of Cups, these are all cards of the home, Two of Wands as well. So some of you could be moving. The Tower's coming up in the good stuff anyway, so wouldn't even worry about it. But there could be, this could be you surprising people as well, Pisces. Sometimes I think with the Fool, that in the Tower, that we could be the one that is choosing to create a Tower moment. And it could surprise people in our lives, like the decision we make, but, probably a good thing. Now, with the Eight of Cups, you have the Three of Swords. I mean, coming up in the good stuff, so this could say that you are walking away from something that has caused a heartbreak. I kind of feel like some of you could be surprising a person who broke your heart, so, that's also popping into my head with that card, but, there you go. I feel like you could be healing. You have this Ram card. It says, a stubborn, aggressive person. I feel like this is you. I don't hate it, Pisces. I kind of feel like the past few months, I'm pretty sure that I've said to you that you are kind of like the little engine that could. There is like a little bit of stubbornness there, but sometimes I think that can be helpful. I think as long as you're using it in a healthy way, I really don't see a problem with this. I think that if you're burning yourself out, you're getting exhausted, you're getting sick because of it and all that other stuff, then it's a problem. But I think, really, I don't feel bad about this at all. Again, you have Saturn in your second house, in Aries, right here. So, I don't know. I think, really, as long as you're using it in a healthy way, you'll be fine. You have this Kangaroo card. It says, unsettled times, need to plan ahead. I don't know. I've been talking about this for years. Literally, I've been warning people about all the craziness for years. So, I don't know. Whatever. I just, watch some of my past readings. Go watch the Chris Ruck channel. I give all my information away for free. Yeah, I don't know. Just go learn, right? You'll be fine. I can't really talk too much about it on YouTube, unfortunately, but, we're in a crazy time, so that's it. Just keep your head on straight. You'll be fine. You have this January card and this Rat card. It says, someone working against you behind your back. I don't know. I think that, again, as we move through the next couple of years, that a lot of people might be trying to work behind your back, Pisces, because you are shining bright. It's just what happens. I would just ignore it. You have this Sunrise card. It says, new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. Yes, the whole entire reading says there's clearly something new that you're thinking about working on. It could be old new. This with all the history stuff I was talking about, this could be like an old idea that you're updating. I feel like you need to remember something. Is like what I was saying on the Two of Wands. I remember saying that, right? It's like, but it's almost like saying to me that you need to remember why you're doing something. I feel like something is missing. And sorry, I'm not trying to go on a rant here or anything, but it's like, sometimes I think we have, we can be working on something. We have that fire, we feel like, oh, okay, I know what I need to do now. But we have that motivation, right? And I kind of feel that's been missing a little bit for you, Pisces, like that fire inside. And maybe not like totally, but a little bit. And I think you need to remember like why you're doing things, because I don't know, it just keeps popping into my head that's where, that's like how you will remember and how you will get working, right? You have this Well card. It says family wishes come true. Yeah, family stuff looks good. I mean, 10 of Cups, 4 of Wands, if you want to have a family, also looks really good as well. But this is a good reading, Pisces. I really like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your July.